Hey guys, it's Ro here. Welcome back to my channel after a super long time. And today we are here to discuss the current book I'm working on and doing my makeup at the same time. It's gonna be a little bit of like a chill video and hopefully it goes well. Also, ignore the lighting. The cat was just in the blinds and she walked away. Also, I don't think I've filmed a video with my hair this short. I've tried to film like 20 videos since the last video I posted, which I know was like a really long time ago. So it's been a while. I chopped my hair at the beginning of July. So this is where we're at since then. It's currently September 4th. Next week, actually, I'm going to go get my hair dyed for the first time. I don't know if you guys have been here for a while, but if you have, you remember when I was like way younger, like early on in my channel, I was like super blonde, and it's just died down since then. I think I'm ready for blonde again, and if I don't like it, I guess we'll let it grow out. And then I was also thinking about either going darker, because my thought process was either like blonde again or dark, because like this is okay. I actually really like my natural hair, but I feel like I just want to change a little bit. And I also like my hair color when it's like wet, like out of the shower, it's like a dark brown. I'm like, I don't like it. So we're gonna go blonde next week, like super blonde, and we're gonna hope it goes well. If not, obviously like we'll grow it out and then it will just be that. I've actually tried to film this video before, like a couple weeks ago. It didn't turn out very well because one, all of my makeup looked really yellow for some odd reason, even though in person it looked fine. So hopefully today, I changed the settings on my camera, so hopefully today it goes better. And then two, I actually like wrote an outline, so I know what to talk about, because I feel like last time I kind of just like rambled on, which wasn't great. So yeah, let's just get started here after I find my hair clips. My products out. I normally like use this bag here. You guys have seen it, I think, for like the last like 2 years. But I have like a drawer in my bathroom with like all my makeup when I'm just like sitting at home. So I just brought the whole drawer out. So getting little clippies that I got from TJ Maxx, which are actually kind of nice. So let's get started here. So we're gonna start off with my primer, and we're gonna talk about just the general basis of my current book. So currently the book I'm working on is a new adult dark romantasy that takes place in the 1800s. I had been reading for a while on, not like physical books, so I was reading a lot of like webtoons about like arranged marriages, and for some odd reason like that kind of just stuck with me. It stuck with me, and I was like, I kind of want to do something along those lines, because I feel like a lot of the ones I was reading, it was like the girl was forced into this marriage and then like she eventually like loved them, so it's like actually it'd be kind of cute. So that is kind of like the vibe I was going for. It is an arranged marriage trope, arranged marriage book. I actually really like how it's going. Currently, I have 46,706 words currently as of today. I was hoping it was going to be by 50,000 before September, but I just have been doing a lot of other things. Like I've been trying to get my streaming going. Ooh, I don't like the feeling of this in my fingers. I've been trying to get streaming going on Twitch for my video games while I also write and work. So I've also been trying to do that, but that also means I haven't been able to write as much, but I also have been feeling a lack of inspiration, I suppose, because I was going into this book with no plan whatsoever. And so we're actually going to change that today, not in this video, but I'm filming a vlog today where I'm going to be writing an outline for the rest of my book, starting on chapter 25. So I'm 25 chapters into the book at the moment. So out of the 46,000 words, we have 25 chapters. I'm gonna go wash my hands really fast. Currently, I'm drinking an Alani Nu, which is tasty. This is my favorite one. So fall is just the best in my opinion. We come out with the best drinks. We got pumpkin spice lattes. We got the apple crisp lattes as well from Starbucks, which I love. I work there, so I drink them all the time. Then we have the Witch's Brew Alani Nu, which is my favorite Alani Nu period ever. Like not even like the seasonal, it's just the best. It's the best, it is what it is. Now that my primer is set a little bit, So my timeline for the book that I'm currently working on is, so I started this New Year's Day, and obviously I'm still going, but I really want to like crank down on it within like the next 2 weeks. So it's currently Tuesday, today's my day off, and I want to be done with it by next Sunday, which is, I believe, the 15th. Yes. So I want to get done with my first draft by September 15th, which is going to be right before my birthday, because my birthday is September 20th. So I don't want to be working on anything during my birthday, because I'm going to be feeling like extra stressed and be like, I have so many things that I need to do, including finishing this first draft. And then after that, I hope that I get started on draft 2 by September 23rd, so that Monday after my birthday. My birthday is luckily on a Friday this year. It's never on a Friday. It's always the middle of the week. So this year I'm so happy because it's not the middle of the week and I get to actually do things this year. Plus I actually have friends that I can go out and do things with this year. I've made like really good best friends now, which is nice. Also, I see that this is still looking more yellow on camera and neutral in person, so we're gonna have to work with me. I don't know why it does that. I don't know why my makeup is looking so yellow on camera, so sorry about that. We're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm gonna have to look yellow. Maybe I can fix something in editing. Yeah. I'm planning. I don't have like a hard like release date that I want this by. I wrote down that I want like an either like late 2024 or like early 2025, which I feel like is realistic-ish, but like I also don't want to set a hard date until I'm at least done with draft 1, because you know that's the writing draft, you know? You never know where writing's gonna take you. Like I have a bigger story like for later in the video, but like you never know where writing's gonna take you. Like there's always a plan, and I feel like with writing it like never goes where you want it to go. All right, so a little bit about my book is the main character's name is Josephine. I believe, actually I don't remember because I didn't look this part up and I didn't write it down. I believe she's like in her early 20s or like mid 20s. I think it's early, maybe 20s. So the main character's name is Josephine, which I have always loved that name, and I knew I was eventually gonna want to put it in one of my books as like the main character. I think I originally got the name from Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Like the aunt is Josephine, like Aunt Josephine, the one that's like living above the lake. I don't know, something about that name, something about that character I like always fell in love with, which I thought was like really interesting. So it's the main character's name. I have a word count goal of around 70k for this book, which means I think I have 23,500 words to go, and that's in essentially a week and a half. So that's like actually a really big goal, and I didn't think about that until right now. So I actually have a lot of writing to do. That sucks because we're going to be taking this day to finish outlining, because the issue that I keep running into is I keep having super great ideas, so I like go in spurts of writing and then I sit on this scene for the longest time because I don't know what else to write. So yeah, that's been a struggle. But I'm gonna kind of do like a little bit of a synopsis as I'm talking. Okay, so and I'm gonna probably write what I have down on the script, because otherwise I will go off into a million different topics and I'll be done before this video is even done. Actually, I have a lot to talk about before I even get to the next part of this. So, main character, who is Josephine, is being forced into marriage with a stranger from a different land. So completely someone that she's not gonna know, in a completely different world, in a completely different area of her world. I don't think I've named the country yet, or even like the world yet, but Josephine is from the central southern part of their world, and the man she's marrying is from the very north part of it, which she's never been to. Like a lot of people don't go there. They're run completely by someone else essentially. There's just like a peace treaty that goes on, and so essentially she is being put into an arranged marriage with someone from the north. So when she goes to this new land, she arrives at this dark, mysterious, and super cold castle. Like literally so cold. Like there's no warmth in there. There's no fires. It's super cold because it's the north, and for some odd reason they just don't believe in heating. So, which there is obviously like heating during this time period, not like the basic heating we have now, but like obviously there's like fireplaces and candles. Like there is forms of heat that are available, and this place just doesn't use them. So she finds that strange, and she finds a lot of the staff strange, and something else that she finds even stranger is that she's not allowed to talk to her husband-to-be, and she's not allowed to see him either. So she like tries to force her way into like seeing this man before they get married to just like meet him, right? She somehow eventually finds him, but this man is wearing a mask around her, so she has no idea what her husband looks like or her future husband looks like for the time being. And she gets reassured that it's like a safety thing for him and that there's nothing wrong and everything is going according to plan. At least that's what she's told. So yeah, this is when she realizes that she came into this world and they're keeping a lot of secrets from her, which is not great. So Josephine is kept in a whole separate room, a whole separate wing before the wedding even happens. And in this room, she starts to hear voices that are telling her that she's in danger and she needs to get out of there and just not great things. So she starts to panic, obviously, because who wouldn't panic when hearing voices in the middle of the night? And because of this, Josephine kind of has like an inner battle with herself. Sorry, I just got a bunch of powder in my nose. Josephine has an inner battle with herself because she was taught that a woman should always follow what their husband is saying. And like, because this is the 1800s, so women did not have a lot of rights back then. And they were mostly just used as like a show wife, essentially. And so she understands that like, this is also when arranged marriages would happen. So she understands that this whole thing is happening and that, you know, her father has already promised her to this man and she really can't just get out of it. There's nothing she can really do. But she's kind of trying to decide if she wants to secretly try to run away in the middle of nowhere, because this castle that she was moved into just like literally in the middle of nowhere. She has no idea where she was at when they were traveling, like she didn't know what was going on. So she doesn't really have much hope, right? She does not have much hope. Ooh, I actually really like this line that I wrote in this outline, so I'm going to read it. Josephine battles herself, wanting to leave but knowing she can't. Knowing that she has to marry this man in order to escape her own family and survive their cruel world. Which obviously it is kind of a cruel world when, you know, women are being forced to marry people and being sent away from their families and they don't really have any rights. So obviously it's a cruel world to begin with. I don't know, I just wanted to read that. I was actually talking a little too fast and I took too long on my foundation, so now I have to wait. Actually, I just realized I've not been showing you guys like any of my products, so my bad. The concealer, or not the concealer, the primer I was using was left here by my sister. She doesn't live in Iowa anymore, so it was like $5 at the grocery store. So I'm using the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer, which left by my lovely sister. Thank you. I actually just started using it yesterday. It's been like 4 months since she's left it here, and I was like, I'm not gonna use it. I like don't even use primer. But then my friends were telling me I should use primer, so then I tried it and I was like, oh, game changer. Remember I used primer like back when I was a freshman in high school. I used a little bit of primer. I didn't think it actually helped at all, but apparently it does. So I use primer now. This camera is really like not picking up a lot of my makeup because I feel like my bronzer looks fine. I'm trying like not to overdo it, but it's making it really hard. And it is like sunny outside, but I have my blinds set a certain way, otherwise it's like way too sunny in here. Like you wouldn't be able to see literally anything. Okay, so I have my contour done, which is good. Well, okay, so my contour I was also using e.l.f. in the shade Forever Sunkissed. I think it's like the palest of the palest contours. You haven't learned by now, I'm just super pale. And then the foundation I use, my friend got me onto this. I used the Morphe foundation, the light form. This is Light 03C. So it's a cool tone, which is kind of what I use. I normally use like a neutral tone. Actually, that's a lie. No, I don't. Those are too yellow. I use cool tones. So I'm just pale. I think that was like the second to last pale. I think the first pale, it was too orange, which is weird because it's supposed to be cool, but yeah. So there's that, and then the powder I used was the NYX Professional Makeup Just Translucent powder, and it's like the packed in one. I normally use like the loose powder, but when I was shopping with my friend, she was like, they didn't have my loose powder, so I was like asking her what I should get, and she said she recommended this and she recommended that. It's actually a lot easier to use this as a pressed powder than a loose powder. And I started elevating my makeup, obviously, because I used to use drugstore makeup. So, because I have that Morphe foundation, and now I have evolved to Rem Beauty for my blush. This is the color Skinny Dipped. I love Ariana Grande. Planning to go to her concert for Eternal Sunshine, whenever she has that tour, if it's like close. I'm not gonna travel for it, but I don't know, I'm excited for it. I definitely put way more blush on here than I wanted, but it's okay. Because while I'm pale, I actually used a lot of blush to kind of like combat that, to at least look somewhat alive. For some reason, when I did this yesterday, it was not this strong, even though I felt like I put on more layers. Oh right, I forgot that I'm telling you guys a story. Sorry. So, and this isn't going to be a spoiler because this will be in the description. So the wedding does happen, and because it happens like, I think like 3 days after she gets there. She's not there for long before they get married. So the wedding happens, and the wedding comes up, there's a shit ton of strangers in the castle that she's never met, won't talk to her, won't look at her, they all look weird, and also the wedding is hosted at night under the moonlight for some sort of ceremony that she has no idea what's going on about, but they said it's tradition in their culture to get married under the moonlight. So obviously she didn't have a say anyway, but she's like, okay, whatever, like I'm marrying into this world, like I'm marrying into the north, like maybe this is what the northerns do, right? So, but something unnerves her about this wedding, about this marriage. The fact that she has yet to see her husband's face, even during her wedding, he had the mask on, and she hasn't really had a conversation with him either. So the fact that she's marrying this man, hasn't seen his face, hasn't really talked to her, like, kind of making her feel very uncomfortable because he's an idiot. Sorry, I just wanted to say that because I think it's really funny. I like to call people idiots, so. But she's essentially introduced into this world where she doesn't know the culture. She hasn't really talked to her new husband now, and she hasn't talked to really anyone outside of her maid, the butler, and her husband eventually when he does talk to her. So that's gonna be like the general description. Obviously when it will be on the book, it'll be like way later, but that is the general description. We're gonna kind of talk deeply about the book instead of like actually like what I'm currently writing. So I am gonna come out and say Josephine is unlike any other character I've ever written. If you've read my other 2 book series, you know that my characters start off really strong-headed women, I feel like. Well, I guess Ivy didn't start, but she quickly changed into a strong-headed woman. I don't know why I'm saying it plural. Where is my eyeliner? I just used it yesterday. Wait, I found it. Yeah, so Josephine is a different character like the other 2 main characters I have written. She starts off and stays as someone that is a very kind and soft and gentle main character, which I haven't really written before. I've written like some gentle side characters, you know, not many of them though. And I feel like that's also where I'm struggling a little bit because I am someone that has a lot of attitude, a lot of sass, as one would say. Yeah, so her character is just someone completely new that I've never dealt with before. So that was also something I was struggling to write with just because like it was something I wasn't used to. But I am happy with her character. I definitely wouldn't change it. I've actually, like I said, I'm happy with where we're going with her character, you know? Like there's this girl that's super nice, super quiet, and she's introduced into this world that she knows no one. No! Dang, this started off so well and then I poked a spot right there. Okay, it's cute. It's not as thin as I wanted it to be, but it's cute. It's giving. I didn't think this was gonna take me this long, so let me just finish this up. Dude, doing eyeliner on the opposite side of like, so I'm right-handed, so like doing it on the right side is so easy, but doing it on the other side is so hard. See, I've never actually done this with concealer. I normally will just restart the whole eye. But the fact that the wings still look good without like needing me to actually restart it is what stopped me from just wiping it all off. So there we go. Now it's fixed. Okay. Woo! Eyeliner done. Go me. What are we looking at? Eyeliner, mascara. Oh, okay. Now that we've moved on from eyeliner, I am struggling with the time period a little bit, it seems. So this takes place in the 1800s, and I'm having a difficult time, like, writing and then having to rewrite some of the things. So, like, I first wrote in there, like, light switches, and then I Googled when light switches were essentially a thing, and, like, my thing my story takes place before that, so I had to completely like I wasn't far along in it. I think it was only like maybe 5,000 words when I realized I had to switch it. But so I'm having to be like really careful on like what I say when it comes to like heat and light and like just stuff like that. But I also need to remember that this is a fantasy, you know, like anything could happen in a fantasy. Anything can happen in a fantasy. I just need to not worry about it as much, because I feel like if I keep worrying about it, it's gonna stop me from writing, which is obviously really bad, because the whole goal is to write, get this book out, write the next book, continue the thing. We write, we edit, we publish, we repeat. So speaking of fantasy, this fantasy that I'm currently writing, the dark romantasy, as I will call it, is heavily reminding me of when I was writing Deadly Scream. It is. I'm actually loving it because I'm getting the same feeling of like, excuse me, of really wanting to write this goddamn book, because I'm getting excited about all of these other creatures, essentially, is like what's going on. So it's a fantasy, it's a dark romantasy, but essentially, so it has vampires in it. Mic drop. I forgot to mention that earlier. So there's vampires in this book, which is what I guess like the strange people are and everything. I need to work that somehow into the synopsis. I didn't know where to put it in there. But so I'm getting really excited again writing about like these supernatural creatures and the different kinds of vampires. So it's mostly just vampires in here. Vampires and like humans. There is witches, but we don't really meet any. There is, this won't really be a spoiler because it's said like right away when you like meet the character. There is heretics, which is a vampire and witch hybrid. So there is those, and one of them is like a side character. So it's not a spoiler, and you're not gonna guess who it is. So, because I'm not gonna talk about the side character. I'm getting really excited writing about these supernatural creatures again. It's heavily reminding me of Deadly Scream and how there's almost every single supernatural creature in there. I loved it. I think that is actually one thing I do kind of regret about my Deadly Scream series, is it was originally just supposed to be banshees, and I kind of messed that up because I got too supernatural happy and including a bunch of things, because I wanted her friends, this will be a spoiler, but the book has been published for 4 years, so spoilers if you're still planning on reading it. But her friends are different supernatural creatures, because we have a pixie, a siren, and a hellhound, right? So I'm like, okay, so obviously they're there, and like then there should be other creatures there, you know? You feel me? But yeah, so I just had my lip product. I don't know. I'm also gonna use Rem Beauty's lip product. Yesterday I was using my like more nudie tone, but today we are going to use my darker tone, which is the Cherry Cola. So I actually really like this one. It gives me more of like a darky, vampy vibe, which is kind of what I want to go for, because, you know, we're talking about my new book that is like a vampire dark romantasy, so I'm super excited about that. Continuing on with kind of like the development of the book and kind of like what I was already talking about, it's developing more of a fantasy vibe than I thought it was. It was originally supposed to focus more on the romance aspect of it, but I seem to be developing it as more fantasy than I thought. And I think that's just my inner self really missing Deadly Scream and all of the fantasy that I was writing in there, because my A Demon's Heart series was very heavily romance-sided, and that was on purpose. So there was like obviously like some supernatural creature aspect of it, because, you know, it's demons and like there's magic, there's demon magic and everything. It just like didn't have the same effect essentially, and as I'm currently writing this, I feel like I'm getting that same effect as when I was writing Deadly Scream. So it's actually making me a lot more excited than I was originally anticipating accidentally writing into my dark fantasy aspects of it. Alright, so this is my finished look. I'm looking a little orange on camera, but it's fine. Actually, hold on. I want to do a little nose contour. Give me this. As I'm still talking, which is fine, because I still have a few things left to discuss. Not many though. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I was actually supposed to talk about this when I was doing my lips, but as we all know, I talk a lot, so I just get carried away anyway. There's some fun personality Easter eggs in this book. I'm not going to tell you exactly who they are, but essentially, the personality Easter eggs for me. So one of my characters, I'm not going to say who because it's actually also not stated in the book either. I give this character some qualities of it, but I don't directly state like they're inspired by it. So one of my characters, one of my side characters, I'm doing this with Adam here. One of my side characters is inspired by Swan Lake. And because I actually really like Swan Lake and the story of it, and especially like you can blame Barbie for that. Barbie Swan Lake was where I originally got not the idea for it, but I just really like Barbie Swan Lake and just the story of it. Because really, I feel like Swan Lake could be taken in like a really like gothic tone, and I don't know if you guys realize, but I'm really into gothic stuff, so guys literally, so one of my characters is inspired by that, so that's really fun. Like I said, I'm not gonna say who it is, so I guess you'll just have to read the book to figure it out whenever that does come out. Should I put blush in my nose? I never put blush in my nose. Another character who I'm still going to name no one, I'm not telling you guys a name, is inspired by one of my favorite characters from a book series that I have talked about on this channel, but it's been like a really, really, really long time. Like it's been like probably 7-ish years. So that's exciting. I'm putting blush on my nose because I see other people do it, but I don't know how I'm actually supposed to do it. So I don't think I'm doing it right, but here we are. I definitely didn't do it right, but it's fine. It's cute. It's cute. We'll pretend it's cute. Okay, now this is the finished look with my nose contour, my weird nose blush, and yeah. Okay, so my goal, I think, okay, so I already talked about when I want this book to be published, so like end of 2024 or early 2025. I don't have a hard date set. I've already said that. I really should put a hard date set, at least for things, so I can try and actually push myself to get this done. So I feel like without a date, I'm kind of just gonna write like 100 words, 20 words. Like I'm not gonna push myself to actually finish the book. So I should actually start putting hard dates. We're talking about past this specific project. I am planning on writing in NaNoWriMo, and it's gonna be a different project. I have 3 current other projects that I have been outlining and that like I could do. So I'm kind of prepping for that. I know it's September, but I'm just prepping for it. Like I'm not gonna start it at all. So I am planning to do NaNoWriMo. I was doing Camp NaNoWriMo for a while, and that helped a lot. I think the first day I wrote like 3,000 words or something, but then I went on family vacation and then I got screwed up. So Camp NaNoWriMo was not successful in the end. It was really successful in the first 2 weeks, but then it got worse. So I am still working on that collection of short stories that I've been trying to work on for the last 1.5 years that I wanted to publish last October. I really want to publish it in October so bad, but honestly I don't really need to. I think it's just because like in my brain, horror books, October, like spooky vibes. But I guess I don't need, a horror book does not need to be published in October. So I need to also keep that in mind. But yeah, so I'm also going to try to be working on that as well as my current one I'm working on. I do have a somewhat title. I have a title for this current book I'm working on, but I don't know if it's going to stay or not. So I haven't really, I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not, because I originally actually titled this piece because I was gonna write a hard like romance. It was gonna be like a reverse harem romance inspired by Diabolic Lovers anime, which is kind of cringy. It is, I won't say it's not, it's cringy. That was my first anime I ever watched and I loved it. So that's where like the aspect of vampires came in, because I was gonna start that, but then I redeveloped it and it's something completely different. The only same aspect is that the vampires, so I still have the same name, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. But I think I'm trying to like work it into what I currently have and hope that it works for the best. So I have a title, but it's still probably in the works and not official. Dirty and like oily and stuff, and it's not. It's just my like natural highlights and lowlights. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, catching up. Sorry I haven't posted in a really long time, but welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new here. Comment down below what projects you're currently working on, if you're in any writing blogs, or what you're doing to get out of it. I'm currently trying to just outline the rest of my book to get out of my writing block, essentially. So hopefully something else can work for you guys if you guys are struggling with that too. Like this video and subscribe to my channel to see hopefully more writing and reading videos from me. I will see you guys soon. Bye!